Prime Cuts of the Omaha Beef Podcast Season 3 is coming soon. Make sure to like and follow us. And we have all things Omaha Beef football coming your way, led by Beef Football #1 fan, Matt Patton.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Inside the Walls podcast. 46 days from NAL Game Day live in Wheeling, West Virginia. Get ready. We are so close to the actual start of the season, and I'm here alongside my two partners in crime, my boy from Wheeling, Jeff, and my other boy from Omaha, Matt Patton. How you doing, guys? You both sound thrilled.
I was waiting for Jeff to talk. I'm doing well.
I'm good. Just trying to stay warm, you know. Whew.
Anyways, we'll go back to the episode.
Ouch. All right.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, find us on all audio platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, Podcast Addict, anything. Click on the QR code here on the screen. And I know if you're listening, you can't really click it because it's a podcast platform. Go to Inside the Walls Network on all podcast platforms to get your connections to Inside the Walls. Also, ticket giveaway for Inside the Walls podcast. It's very simple. 2 tickets, maybe 3, maybe 4, but guaranteed 2. Easy. Follow the show on Facebook. Like, share this post and this episode. And share an indoor moment or NAL moment. And the finalists will be announced on February 27th. That is the first show before NAL Game Day. So you'll get your tickets. Any game, any regular season game, easy to enter. It's not this Facebook post, the YouTube presentation. Put on Facebook. That's the only way we can keep track of it. So ticket giveaway. Join now. We're giving tickets away like crazy this year for the National Arena League. Again, this episode 171, the Rouxgarou special of Shreveport. We'll have both members of the coaching staff with us today. But we got to discuss a little bit before we go. What are your thoughts about the Rouxgarou before we get the guys on? Jeff.
I've said since day one, this is an awesome franchise with an awesome name. It's great to see somebody fill the void of the Battle Wings that were there before in Shreveport. It's nice to see, a fan base with that jump in there and go in. But I think the logo is sweet. The name is more Louisiana than I've ever seen a team name.
Matt?
I think it's a really cool logo. I think it's a really cool color scheme because it's a little unique and different, not something you see every day. First year, I know they're probably trying to save a little money, but I'm sure it opens up opportunities down the line to get lots of different uniform combinations. But yeah, I think, some of the players they've been signing, I've been reading about, seem like they're pretty good athletes. So interested to see how this team does this season. I know Shreveport has a long history of indoor football, and they're looking forward to having it back. I'm 100% sure.
Good. Do you want to get our guests on the show?
Yeah,
because we could talk about Shreveport, but it'd be boring if it was just us.
Yeah, true.
Definitely.
Well, Matt, who is our first guest?
Our first guest is one of the coaching staff with the Rouxgarou. He is Coach Richard Rogers.
Oh, well, technology. And I get the wrong guys. Let's put both of them on. Screw it. Get both of them on there.
And the other coach is Coach Jermaine Hampton. So there you go.
How you fellas doing?
Good.
How's it going, guys?
Minus
Good.
the technology glitching. I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing fine.
That's what happens when more than one person has control of this thing.
Yeah, and I'm clicking on wrong images here. Like, what the heck? What's going on here? It's not an Inside the Walls podcast without something messing up. Just remember, yesterday we had stuff mess up too. That's a tradition that keeps on giving. We all mess up here. Well, gents, welcome to the inaugural season for this Rouxgarou for the NAL. I'm going to ask this to Coach Hampton. You have a journey to this area, but what led you to Shreveport?
What led me to Shreveport? I happen to know Pat Pimmel, and I was working with him in with the Philadelphia Souls of last year for the AF1, which is the AF1 now, and he brought me over to Shreveport.
Oh, that was simple enough.
Yeah, real simple.
You here? Okay. What about you, Coach Richard?
Yeah, me and my business partner, I'm one of the owners as well. Me and my business partner, we were looking at a bunch of different places to put teams, and it came down between Oklahoma and here. And when we met Scott Musket, which is the hockey team, the Mudbugs, I don't know if you guys ever heard about the Mudbugs. We met him when we first went into the arena. We saw this guy driving around on a forklift. We thought he was just a maintenance man, and we were looking at the box suites, and so he walked up to us and he's like, "Can I help you?" And he's like, we asked him about the box suites. He's like, "Come to my office." And I thought it was the weirdest thing that a maintenance man had an office. I've never heard of a maintenance man having an office. And he's like, "No, he's like, I own the hockey team and I'm the general manager of the arena and stuff like that." So most arena managers, you know how they are. They sit up in the office and they just collect checks and stuff like that. So this guy's like, "We really want you here. Whatever we can do I can help you. I can hook you up with our corporate partners. We want you here. This town needs it." And so ever since then, he's been very supportive and very helpful. So that helped us make our decision for Shreveport.
Well, Shreveport has a history of arena football / indoor football. Jeff mentioned it with the old Battle. Was it Battlehawks? Battle Wings?
Battle Wings. They were here 9 years ago. Yep.
Mm-hmm. They had a little. They. I think they're the ones that relocated the New Orleans.
Yep.
Did they? Okay, so they became the Voodoo later. But ever since then, it felt like that city has had a vacuum for football. Even though the Independence Bowl is there, that's only once a year, but that city seems like it was empty for excitement. Hockey, I know that you just mentioned the hockey team there. That's apparently, from what I've been hearing, the fans adore that team, so it's good support.
Yeah, they average about 3,000 fans a game.
That's still pretty impressive, I swear. How's the support? Where are you getting from the fans right now for the city, for the team?
Oh, we're getting they're so excited for the players to arrive, and the local talent is insane. It's here in Louisiana. The talent's insane around here. You guys probably all know of Eric Thomas Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Played at Evangel, played for the Colts and the Bills and stuff like that. We got him. He actually played for Hampton as well, and so the local talent here is insane. So the fans are super excited. We're already sold 2,800 season tickets. So,
and for the fans out there, what's the capacity of the building?
It's 7,500. We want to pack that thing out first game. When Omaha comes over here, we want to make it so loud they can't even think.
Well, that's Matt's team's heading down there, so it looks like that's week 1, if I'm correct, if I remember.
Correct.
Yep.
And that's on a Saturday night?
Yes.
Oh, I know what we're doing, guys, up in the top row here on the podcast. Yeah. We're doing that night.
And then Wheeling's there week 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice one.
But, Coach Hampton, you have a extended career in the arena game. From the Iowa Barnstormers to your playing time days at the Chicago Rush and the Colts, all the way to the NFL. And you mentioned the story about certain NFL players. And of course, a lot of people watch the show. I'm a Jaguars fan, so I have a little thing against the Colts. It's not against the organization. It's against Dallas Clark and Peyton Manning and the ever-ending forehead of his. But you had opportunity to actually play in the NFL, and you bring that into the arena game / indoor game. Your experience alone can help a player or two on your staff or your team right now have the opportunity to get to that level of play because you've actually been there. Describe your time in the National Football League.
Okay. Well, I'll just go back a little bit to college. I played my college ball at NIU from 97 to 2000. During my time there, I was the first team All MAC in 99 and 2000. And then I was up for the Jim Thorpe Award coming out in 2000. I was number 21 for the top 40 and finished the season in the semifinal. So that's pretty much like the top 10 DBs in the country in 2000. I ended up getting drafted through free agency with the Indianapolis Colts, and I signed a 3-year deal with them. I got called right after Mr. Was a free agent, made the active 53, and went into my second year. Ended up getting hurt. So you know how that stuff goes with like lower back injury. So I had a lower back injury. So I kind of stinted my career on the NFL level. Everything was pretty cool. And then I also played, I'll say, 4 or 5 years of arena football. First in the UIF with the Rock River Rap. And then I played with the Chicago Slaughter in the CIFL. Remember when the Arena 1 folded in 2009? Pretty much, it's the Chicago Slaughter, not the Rush. We pretty much had a lot of players from the Rush come over, and we put a team together and went undefeated under Steve McMichael, 85 Bear. Went undefeated, and then I got into coaching.
Matt?
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at a little bit of this roster that you guys have, and I know, not everything is officially official yet, but I look at it and I see a guy like Denarius Antoine, who has a long history in indoor football. Either one of you guys talk a little bit about Denarius and just kind of what kind of athlete he is and how excited you are about him.
Denarius, he's one of those guys. You can put him at any position, and he's going to be the best player at that position. He's like a ball hawk, and you put a ball in his hands, he's gonna score. He literally can play any position on the field, and he's good at that. Yeah, he also had a short stint in the NFL as well. A lot of people don't know that. So
there he is, chiming in.
Yeah, he's crazy. Everybody calls him D2. You'll hear that all the time. He is crazy, and he's from Louisiana. He's actually from New Iberia, so he gets to come home and play.
Yeah, I remember watching him play when he was in the CIF playing against the Omaha Beef, and I was like, no thanks, let's get him on our team. But didn't work out. But I just remember how good of a football player he was. So you guys are lucky to have him on your team.
Easy, coach. Yeah. You don't want to offend these people who create fake polls about players, about how great players are. You don't want to end up on some social media platform getting blasted. Just saying, stand by. Jeff.
So I kind of stick with this question with all of the with the new franchises. How did you guys come up with the name, and how did you come around to the logo of the Rouxgarou?
My business partner actually came up with the name. I didn't even know what a Rouxgarou was. He's like, yeah, we're gonna go with the Rouxgarou. He's like, I'll let you pick the colors, but we're gonna do it with the Rouxgarou. And I was like, what is a Rouxgarou? He's like, Google it. so I Googled it. Googled it, and then we had our art team and art and graphics team. I told them, I sent him a few Google pictures, and he came up with the logo.
Yeah, because a Rouxgarou is a mythical creature, and they feast on cattle.
Yep, and they're half man, half werewolf that live in the swamps.
Yes, and there's a certain team that's a cattle in the National Arena League called the Omaha Beef. So when I looked at that, I go, did they make a name just because they want to probably start something with Omaha?
Wait a minute.
But when I heard the name, me and Jeff and Matt, before we even started the preview, were like, what the heck is a Rouxgarou? So we started doing research.
That's what
It's
everyone in the league, when the league meetings are like, "Are you sure you want to go with that name?" It's kind of like when they looked at on Google, they're like, it's kind of like aggressive, but like everyone in Louisiana loves it.
and you know what's strange is during Halloween, I was like, man, like I see Ruberus everywhere now because everyone has those little Ruberus on outside their houses, or the little robotic creatures. I'm like, that's a freaking Ruberu.
We
Like, what
actually
the
have a
heck?
few. We have a few of those in the arena that move when you pass them.
It's
So
like when you buy that. Go ahead, Matt.
if I'm not mistaken, it's almost very similar to the El Chupacabra, right? I mean,
Correct.
somewhat, right? You know,
Yep.
like it's crazy.
If you look up urban legends in Louisiana, it's actually like the #1 urban legend in Louisiana.
That's great.
Wow.
I don't know. I think Bobby Boucher is a
Mr. Coach Klein.
Certainly.
we did a Thanksgiving poll during Thanksgiving, and we had the rankings, our tier system, and we put Bobby Boucher and Coach O with the Ruberu, and it's like what's more mythical out of those three? But again, Louisiana, like we've mentioned before, other shows, that's a hotbed for football.
Yes.
Like you got literally wide receiver a few hours down the street in LSU.
Exactly.
That whole team is in the Pro Bowl. It seems like even one of the quarterbacks could actually make it to the Super Bowl in this first year. Describe the talent that I know you guys have tryouts. You got tryouts coming.
We had 2 tryouts. Our first tryouts Hampton was at, but then he tried to do. He thought he was young and hurt himself. But we had our second tryout. We actually had each tryout we had about 60 plus guys each tryout, and it was, if there was actually some bigger guys and bigger linemen showed up, you probably could do a whole team of just Louisiana guys. That's how good the talent is here.
Well, you got Texas that's right down the street too.
Exactly.
Texas not that far either, so you're in SEC Big 10, Big 12 territory of talent. But speaking about your players, in the indoor arena style type of game, there's so many concepts you can run, but in indoor style, there's plethora. You can run so many different variations. Coach Hampton, what's going to be the identity of this team, especially this year?
Well, I think our identity is going to be, knowing that we a new franchise team. I've talked to the team because we got a lot of veteran guys. Like if I can go through some names, just like Roger was saying with Eric Thomas, Alvin Bailey, we got Rasheed Reedley. That's on the offense. We got Darian Boone's coming in to play quarterback. So we got a lot of veteran guys on the team. It's not too many rookies, and they all have had experience either playing in the NFL, CFL, or the UFL. And then plus arena ball, which is the IFL and the FL, and plus the NAL. So we got a lot of talent. On offense, I just expect the guys to. I feel like we can do anything on offense as far as with the personnel that we got from the receivers, running backs, the quarterback, and our O-line. And just like I said, with the experience. As far as our defense, I think we're going to be solid on defense as well. I got a couple veteran guys that I coached in Iowa by the name of Titus Howard, Dave Connerine, and then we got a guy by the name of Zachary Hannibal that played in the IFL that I'm looking to see what he can do. As far as linebackers, we got Denarius. I brought in another guy by the name of Darius Meters that played with the Orlando Predators. So I'm pretty much going over some guys on the roster that's a veterans. As far as on the O-line, we got Charles, Eric Janu, Chris Dickpen, Jacob Vanquez, and Jerry Harris Jr. So that's pretty much of a mix of veteran guys on the O-line as well. When I go to D-line, just like I mentioned, Dave Calderon, we got Darian Hudson, Duo Dessou, Rashad Powers, just to name a few. So we got a nice young defensive line. So, I don't mind bringing in rookies. When I was with I coached a bunch of rookies. That team was pretty much a bunch of rookies. We made it to the playoffs in 22, went 9-7, Probably had one of the top defense in the IFL in 22 across the board in all categories.
Was Mogensen the head coach still there in Iowa?
Yeah, Mogerson was the head coach there. He's still there.
Oh yeah, I know Mogensen's still there.
Yeah.
I just was like, well, this is not. No, it's not his show. We're going to keep continuing. This is a Shreveport show. Jeff, you got a question?
Yeah. So, you mentioned, you touched on a little bit about Keith being a part of the ownership group as well. What are you guys going to have any promotions with the hockey team or anything like that where you're going to cross promote, help each other out, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we're actually next weekend they're doing their Mardi Gras. They're doing our Mardi Gras game, and we're gonna have our mascot out there, a couple of local players, throwing out some merchandise and stuff like that. And then our first preseason game is actually a Mardi Gras weekend, and so we're having our Mardi Gras game. That's our Mardi Gras themed game. So
I hear that's big in Louisiana.
really big, yes.
You got theme nights coming?
Yes, we do have theme night. Yes, we have all of our home games are themed.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember off, we got so like I said, we have the Mardi Gras. We have a all whiteout game. Got first responders. You got no, not first responders. Sorry, it's guns and hoses, where we have the firemen and the cops come out there, play some tug of war and stuff. And then we have a kid superhero night, and then we have a military night.
Military night's always big, no matter what team hosts it.
Yes, already has some nice camel jerseys coming. We're gonna auction those off and give those donations to the military.
Yeah.
Well, seeing that the season is, you got 23 days of camp when you guys kick for camp, Coach?
We kick off.
It's like what?
February 17th.
February 16th. February 16th is training camp.
See, look, Coach Hampton's a day before you. Coach, what's that?
They arrived February 16th. Yeah, they get here February 16th. We start practicing February 17th, and then 4 days later, we actually have our first preseason game. So we only got 4 days of practice.
That's one thing I've talked to interviewed many coaches, and they've even said it's different from the NFL and CFL and XFL, UFL, where they have months-long training camps. You got to make a decision on a roster within 5 days. In the NAL and the IFL, training camps are 2 weeks long, and you want to have your team that next week to get prepared for the first week of the season or your first opponent. How difficult is that for you guys as the coaching staff, where you bring in 40-some guys or 35-some guys, and you got to cut it down to 25 by week one? How difficult is that for you guys?
Well, I've been doing this for a minute with the coaching and stuff and recruiting and putting rosters together, so it's pretty gonna be up to the best guy that's in shape. Like I talk to the players, make sure you guys are in shape. That's the first thing as far as evaluation. The second thing is pretty much knowing what you're doing out there as far as what we're doing in training camp and all that. That's gonna be a part as well. But we gotta make it quick, just like you said. We got a preseason game that Friday, so a lot of guys are going to get evaluated off that game when we play that game on the 21st of February. So that'll be another part of the evaluation as far as who's doing good with that, and also who can pick up the scheme and terminology is quick.
Yeah, the indoor game is so much different and so unique and whatnot. And I had Coach Tatum on and a couple of the other coaches on my podcast the other night for the Omaha Beef. And one of the things that about the indoor game is the schemes are very, sometimes they can be very wordy and very, what's the word, intricate or, whatever, just lots of different things going on. How difficult, though, is it for you guys as coaches to decide how much you want to actually implement that you're going to use during the season as to not tip your hand for the other teams when you're playing that preseason game?
Well, in the preseason game, it's gonna pretty much be basic football. I'm not gonna, throw none of my, my good plays or things that I run in the season like that. That'll be pretty much broke down week by week who we play, as far as schemes and things like that. But it'll just be basic arena football, basic covers. Might throw a little bit in there, but not much. But that's about it just for that. And I'm gonna save what we need to save going into the following week after that preseason game to get ready for the Omaha Beef.
Any games you're looking forward to, or is it week one?
Oh, week one definitely for sure. What are they? The national champions. We definitely want to test ourselves out. Coming in as a franchise team, but we're not like a rookie team. It's a lot of veterans on the team. They know what it's about when we get ready to come into camp. The three things that I'm really focused on is communication, building a winning culture there, and also the commitment once we get there and land in Shreveport.
I know both of you guys are looking forward to a competitive season, and you're focused on your roster, but as a coach, you do have to watch film and look at your opponents. And you guys will be playing in the American Division, so you get to see Columbus, Willing, Carolina, and that little team just a couple miles south of you in Beaumont. What are you looking forward to playing these teams this year, especially in the American Division, which we expect is going to be a hell of a division to play in this year in the NAL?
Well, what I could say from a coach, I'm coming into the season. I'm not underestimating nobody, no teams, anything like that. I just want to prepare my guys weekly and during the game days, and just go out there and do what we got to do. Take care of business.
Okay, Coach Rich.
Yeah, I just same. I'm going off Hampton. I'm not underestimating anybody. Our players have high expectations and stuff like that, as do we. So just hopefully we can fulfill them.
That's simple enough.
Yeah.
Again, we got to do some promotion for you guys. Where can fans go to get tickets? Because I know tickets are on sale now. I keep bashing everyone in all my other shows. If you're not selling tickets, you're not making money. So where can the fans go get tickets for Rouxgarou?
Go Rouxgarou.com, and go is spelled GEAUX. I learned
Richard,
that when I got here. That everything's spelled weird around here in Louisiana.
Richard, I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I don't know if you saw me laughing, so you started laughing, but I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at one of the comments in the chat here. We got a comment in here from the Wheeling Miners.
No gumbo.
Meals are going to be all gumbo. Is that what's going to happen? No, just kidding. Hey, one of the questions
we do got a lot of restaurants that because we got to feed our players. We do got a lot of Cajun restaurants partnered up with us.
Well, one thing I'm always interested in as a fan, just because the aesthetic thing of indoor football, and one of our people watching tonight asked this question, but are we going to see like a really cool new field for you guys with the Rouxgarou, or are you guys going to be what are you guys be doing for turf?
What's that?
What are you guys going to be doing for turf? Are you guys going to have like a new design field, or are you guys having to?
We do have we have our, like I said, we got this field stickers and stuff. We did buy an old previous turf, a used turf, but we do have some cool designs. Some painters coming in to paint the turf.
That's awesome.
No, that's it. We're not going to get just cool designs.
Gotta wait to see. Gotta wait to see. Get more fans to come out there. If I describe it,
it's gonna be like a dusk.
Don't ask me to draw anything on it. No, I'm a terrible drawer. Nope.
You can do a lot with the Rouxgarou. You can do a lot with it.
Yeah, for sure.
We're during the state fair. I think our Rouxgarou mascot and our statue is more popular than our players.
It's not bad. At least they'll have that image of a Rouxgarou and know, hey, that's a football team here in town.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should have thrown some tickets on it, and people would have flocked and grabbed tickets and gone. Jeff?
So, speaking of the mascot, you guys had a name the mascot contest. How did that go? And what was the final discussion of that?
Well, the other two owners, they weren't too happy. They were really wanting Rudy and stuff. They really wanted Rudy, but we left it up to the fans, and they came up with Rue. So the mascot's name is Rue.
Rue the Rouxgarou. That's kind of
Yep,
cool.
Rue the Rouxgarou. Like we always come up saying, like every good meal, it always starts with a roux. Talking about your biscuits and gravy always starts with a roux. All your good meals, your gumbo starts with a roux. So,
Yeah.
I understand why Rudy didn't go kicking. So when people think of Rudy, they don't think of the Rouxgarou. They think of homeboy in Notre Dame.
Yes.
That doesn't, Northern Indiana, Louisiana, not really the same.
I wasn't a fan of the name Rudy either. It's like my least favorite movie.
Well, I just looked at them like I see why, but my name would have been different. Mine would have been more vicious, like Slaughter or something like that, like Thrasher.
All right.
I'm just doing that to bash Matt.
No, when we came out with the name, people, that's what all the owners in the league were like, "Oh, your mascot's a little scary. It's a little vicious. It might not go well. It might not promote well."
But teams don't come. Well, the mascot's good for the kids and promoting and going to the events. They're gonna have pictures, but again, it's the game itself. The organizations are thriving. You said that you have a fan base that is energized for the organization, which for me, who covers the sport, really, and like, it makes me go, okay, there's actually something there that I can really, get behind.
Our goal is to get that award, the best fan base of the year. That's one of our biggest awards. Get the best fan base of the week. Yep. Coming after that.
It's going to be challenging. I'm just going to say there's some good organizations in the NAL that have great fan bases. And two of them are here that represent two of the good organization, and Carolina and Columbus. There's a few. We will literally have our own playoff system for fan bases.
Yes.
And the selection committee might get, people might say, "What the heck? Who did this thing?" I digress. Go ahead.
So we
Matt.
see, obviously within the indoor and semi-pro indoor and minor league football and other sports, we see cheerleaders and dance teams and stuff. So are you guys going to have the Rue girls? Like, are you guys going to have something like that?
They're called the Bayou Babes.
Okay.
The Bayou Babes. Yep. They're called the Bayou. Yes, we will have a dance team.
No Rue for the ladies, huh?
Now, one thing you need to do, this is just a suggestion from football fans everywhere. You have to find a way to get Farmer Fran to one of your games.
Yeah. We were thinking about. We were also. You ever watch that show, Duck Dynasty? That old guy off of Duck Dynasty. What's his name?
Cy.
Yeah,
Cy. He lives right down the road in Monroe and stuff. He's not too far down the road.
You gotta just embrace. If you're gonna go Louisiana, go full Louisiana. And if you really want to go hardcore, instead of throwing T-shirts in the crowd, you just throw jambalaya at people. You might get a lawsuit. Just
throw some shrimps and crawfish in there.
But it sounds like the organization is starting off on a good foot. And if you look at through the roster, any arena football team, any indoor football team goes by who's the guy behind center. What's it look like for the quarterback position? I know the transaction wire is you can't really follow it, but what's the plan to get someone back there behind center, Coach?
Well, I did mention the quarter, Darian Boones. I think he's a veteran quarterback. Played with Wyoming in 2021. He's from Austin Peay. Richard knows a little bit about him too. You can elaborate a little bit too.
Yeah, he played in Mexico. Won a championship in Mexico. Played overseas. Won a couple championships overseas. He has a cannon. He knows how to read offense. He's used to running an RPO. So Knows how to read a defensive line, so he's got a head on his shoulders.
Well, you gotta have a quarterback who knows how to run the RPO. That's what
Hmm.
indoor football is. He's like
Oh yeah,
RPO read
yeah.
option. If you have a quarterback that just sits there being a statue, you're not gonna last in indoor football. Just saying. But Coach Rich, you coach the big dogs, the line of
Yes.
scrimmage. That's where the game is won. We don't get love as big men. Uh,
Exactly.
we're the ones that get concussed the most, and we're the ones that get cussed out the most because the quarterback got hurt or we couldn't move that yard. People don't realize how hard it is to move another massive object 1 yard. But you coach the line of scrimmage. Uh, what type of dude are you trying to recruit, or what type of dude you're trying to formulate to create this line scrimmage on both sides of the ball for the
I'm
recruits?
I'm looking for dogs. I'm looking for people who just want to kill somebody. I look for dogs. I don't want the nice guys or anything else. Someone's gonna help you up. I want somebody out there to want somebody to hurt somebody. And we got and we got some guys like that. Like don't care about your feelings. They just want to hurt you.
I thought that's where you're supposed to. This is not patty cake.
Yep.
Like my coach in high school said, if you want to play patty cake, go across the street and play tennis. So you're playing offensive line, defensive line. Your job is to hurt someone on the other end. Like, okay, coach. Well, I like to play football. Coach Hampton, this is one question, NFL related and college
Okay, go ahead.
related. You
Go
went
ahead.
from Northern Illinois, which is just a few years ago they were the darling of college football with the new college football playoff. Um,
Yeah.
when we went to with the New York Six, where the non-power five got one into the bowl games, it was always Northern Illinois or Boise State. That was the two teams that jumped in. Coming from a university then to the NFL, and now you look as a coach through the landscape of the sport, where now you're seeing schools like Boise State, East Carolina, Tulane, Houston now, who's gone up to the Big 12. You played at that lower style level in D1. Now that you're seeing these schools that were in the MAC moving to moving up in conferences, the evolution of the game has changed since you played in the college ball and into the NFL. And now that you're a coach, what's your outlook on the future of how these players from these levels that you played in high school and not college into the NFL to now? Can the players this
No.
day and age play against you back in the day when you played at Northern Illinois or in college?
Well, when I go back to NIU and when I decided to go to NIU, I wasn't supposed to go to NIU. I had committed to Western Michigan. I actually committed coming out. Okay, I was a two-sport athlete. Um, I was a two-sport athlete, and I played basketball for one of the number one teams in the country in '96 and '97. The name of the high school is Thornton Township High School. I come from a winning culture. I end up messing around in the Texas coach. I think his name was Barry Garnell. I'm not for sure. It's been, but the D coordinator and the secondary coach got the job at Western Michigan, and I committed there. And then Northern was calling me just to tell his little story. Northern was calling me, and I had all these big time schools coming to see me. Coach Carr from Michigan, all these schools coming to see me. And I hadn't even played football until my junior high school. I was a basketball player. A lot of people don't know that. I was a hooper. I didn't play football during my Pop Warner days or anything. I didn't start playing my junior year. So after my junior year, I was getting recruited by everybody in the country. So when it came down to my decision with Northern, it was really a crazy decision. Western Michigan ended up pulling back out on me because remember I told you guys I was a Prop 48, so I was academically ineligible, so I would have to sit out a year. But Northern had a chance program, NIU had a chance program, but during that time, NIU had losing Division I losing streak in the country. So I was kind of just like skeptical about the place and everything, but they gave me an opportunity. I went through the chance program and end up making the best out of it. And I'm real proud of the university because back then we pretty much laid down the foundation. I think we probably had with the Prop 48s that we had that came in with the class that year in '98, I think we'd be in the 50s, maybe 50, 54 or something in the country as far as recruiting that year, and kind of turned the program around and just seeing the university just blossom now. But when you want to talk about gameplay, I probably wouldn't be able to play right now. The way I used to hit, and the way the games was now, the way they have changed the game more for the offense, it's already an offensive game, but you can't as a player you want to be out there and when I watch the football games that I look at now. When I played back then, it was bone crushing football across the board. You know, I like that the players are getting paid now. I wish they can go back a little bit farther. You know what I'm saying? So I can get some of that money. But I'm happy the players are able to, get paid for their talents. There's no ACT to hold you back anymore, that type of thing. But as far as the game now, um, I love the game of football. It changed my life. It took me into a whole nother path. But I would say, back then when I was playing, it was just, a violent game. We knew it's a violent sport, and it's changing. It's really changing, due to the concussion thing and everything with that. It's just, the game has blossomed off Bert that they got now that they added on to it now to give guys opportunities, just like when NIU played Notre Dame, and then, Notre Dame was able to get right back in there and make it to the championship game. So there's some things that, I like about what they done changed about the game. But as far as the gameplay, I don't know. I really can't say with this generation or whatever now, because you deal with a lot of that, I ain't gonna say don't respect the game, but it's it's like guys getting fed with silver spoons. When back then when we had to grind it out all the time. But I'm happy where college football is going right now.
Well, I like to ask players who've played in D1 because Northern Illinois now is going to the Mountain West, if I'm correct. They were in the
Yeah, they're
MAC.
going to the mountain. Yeah,
That's just
yeah.
weird. Nothing screams Mountain West like Northern Illinois.
No, I didn't expect the NIU to go to the Mountain West. I thought they'd probably go somewhere else, but hey, it's a
I would
bigger
expect
conference.
Conference USA.
Yeah, yeah,
But hey, that's the thing about college football. Like teams are moving side by side, conference to conference. Seems like every week there's a new story about a team relocating the conferences. But I want to ask you about your Northern Illinois. When we talked about the Colts, and then you went
yeah,
path. A lot of people don't realize when they think of indoor coaches and indoor players, they all have similar paths like your favorite NFL players. It's just some of
yeah,
them just like they get thrown under the rug or didn't make a cut, and they get in the indoor game and become studs. There's a couple guys in the NAL right now that were draft players. They got drafted in the NFL. Now they play in the NAL. Verlon Reed is a great example of one. He was drafted, and now boom, he's in Sioux City. And there's talented players even at lower level leagues like D2, NAA, D3.
yeah,
That this is their NFL. This is their time to
yeah,
shine. And with your experience playing in the NFL and know what it needs to get to that next level, I think a lot of players need to look at coaches like you and go, hey, there's still an opportunity to get to another league, the XFL, UFL, whatever it wants to be called this year, and then the NFL. But also a
yeah,
lot of players, this is their Super Bowl. This is their
yeah,
NFL, and they'll play. And there's a lot of great indoor players that just stay in the NAL, stay in the IFL, and they make a career out of it. There's a lot of good,
yeah.
solid players, and a lot of players are the fans of the show. But Coach, I want to say thank you for coming on the show. But before you guys leave, guys, do a little trivia. Not really trivia. I'm going to ask you guys questions. You guys can debate. I'm going to ask you, Coach Hampton. I'm going to ask Coach Rich. This is a food question because it's Louisiana. When you think of Louisiana, you think of food.
Okay.
What is the go-to post-game victory meal if it was up to you, Coach Hampton? Make it Louisiana, by the way.
Well, you know, my roots is from Louisiana. I got family in LaPlace and Reserve, so you know I've been getting that food up north in Chicago for years. My favorite dish is just hard to it's hard to run away from the gumbo, man. A nice pot of some good gumbo, man. Honestly.
Coach Rich.
Probably some boudin balls, or a nice po' boy. The po' boys are best. The best po' boys are here in Louisiana.
Shrimp po' boys.
Oh yes.
How's the crawfish in Louisiana? Here it's pretty good.
Oh, it's really good. Yes.
Because there's a certain YouTube guy out there, very famous. He says, "While we wait, we hydrate." And the only thing he eats is not like 10,000 metric tons of crawfish.
He actually has like a Rouxgarou hot sauce.
Dial it up, get on the phone.
Sounds like a promotion.
Yeah.
Don't leave that.
And when we first got there, there's actually a Rouxgarou bar too.
Self promotion. There we go. Like phones. If you need me to start calling, I can start calling. Like,
Oh, we're partnered up with the Rouxgarou bar already. Yeah, we're partnered up with them.
but gents, again, before you let you guys leave, where can the fans find you? Where can they get tickets? Is there a merchant sale, or what are the cool things that you're doing
You can get your tickets. Like I said, you can get your tickets on Rouxgarou. Go Rouxgarou.com. You can get same with merchandise. Go Rouxgarou.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, and YouTube. It's just Shreveport Rouxgarou.
And merch. We got merch.
Merch. Yes, merch is on GoRouxgarou.com. We have a ton of merch out.
I see that you guys are selling a mini helmet.
Yep.
You might see an order being popped in there for a mini helmet. Just saying.
Well, our jerseys have been selling like crazy.
But also, before you guys leave, for the fans who don't know, the official Shreveport football
That's
has
nice.
come out. You can they have a lot of videos and photos on Shreveport's Rouxgarou's Facebook page. Tickets are there, easy access. Gents, I want to say appreciate joining the show. You guys have literally like a month before camp starts. And I asked this to Coach Rez, and I've asked this to many coaches. If someone gave you an extra 2 weeks to prepare, will you take it, or you just get ready for the season what we got left?
I'll take it.
Well, just from my coaching experience, I'm taking it. I'm taking the 2 weeks, man.
Well, gents, I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. And hopefully we get to feature you guys in the game of the week this year, breaking down more games and have you guys back on and actually break down the upcoming week opponent. So hopefully enjoy the gumbo, enjoy the po' boys. You're making me hungry for some Louisiana food. I live in Jacksonville, so the best thing we got is Popeyes. But
I'll see two of you in like 2 of you guys in a month.
You get to see Jeff.
And the week after that, I see Willing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got both teams. You got Omaha and Willing back to back. That's right.
Yep. Right off the bat.
Right off the bat. Oh, it's a small world, and it's going to be here pretty quick, too, in under a month. Gents, really appreciate it. Come back anytime. If you need anything, just let me know, or let myself, Matt, Jeff. We'll forward it to the right people because we're here for you guys, and I appreciate you guys coming on. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap it up. We'll break down the Rouxgarou schedule, and we'll close out the show. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Inside the Walls podcast. And again, I click on the wrong button because I don't know how to do this sometimes because technology is technology. There we go. We're up to date. Hey. The 2025 season is underway, and the Rouxgarou schedule is as presented on the screen. Again, like we did previously, the first 3 games, we mentioned it earlier, back-to-back, Omaha and Willing, home games. Then they go on the road week 5 at Idaho, week 7 at Amarillo. Then they're home week 8 against Carolina. Then they travel to Beaumont in week 9. And they're at Columbus week 10. Then they're home against Carolina, home or at Omaha, then home against Beaumont to wrap up the season. Guys, you look at this schedule. We'll start with you, Matt. What do you see that pops out in this schedule?
I mean, what pops out to me is they've got the 2 matchups against the defending champions. Obviously, going to be tough games there. And then the opening of the season, they're back to back with Omaha and Wheeling, who are both, in my opinion, going to be 2 of the top teams in the league this season. Carolina is not going to be a slouch, but it is relatively interesting to me that they play Carolina twice, but they don't have to go to Carolina for either one of those games. So that is kind of unique and interesting to me. Just a really, really unique and interesting schedule, in my opinion.
Jeff?
I agree. I think the Beaumont games are going to be nice for both teams, both new teams, and they're going to be close. So I feel like those will be good fan games, and could be a start of a good rivalry there with the Renegades.
Because those are, like we mentioned in the previous shows, the Renegades and the Rouxgarou are the biggest question marks of the American division. We basically know what Carolina, what Wheeling, and we know what Columbus is based on history because they have history. Again, 3 organizations have been around for a few years, so we know what they bring. When I look at this schedule, I look at that start. I look at Omaha and I look at Wheeling. The best advantage for Shreveport right off the bat is that they can take an early loss to like Omaha and not get affected in the overall American division standings because you come right back with Wheeling, which is a bigger game, in my opinion, on week 3 because they are division play. Doesn't mean they can start 2-0 and be like, this is a great schedule. Boom. And then they go on the road at Idaho and Amarillo. Based on the schedule that I'm looking at, we seen Colorado's schedule and we're like, this is like daunting. And we saw Idaho, we were like, this is very daunting. But I see the schedule and I go, this is manageable. But the question I have for you, and we said it last week with the over-unders, and we have it, and we'll have the updates of what we predicted. So, again, we have a bet on who buys certain things at the end of the year when it happens. But setting the over-under, and to the fans who are listening, you can chime in as well for it. Maybe if you hit the number, we might actually give you a prize pack at the end of the year. We might do that if you guess the over-under correctly for these team schedules. We're going to set this over-under for the Shreveport Rouxgarou for the 2025 season. Set it at 5.5. 5.5. What we thinking, gents? 5.5. Well, let's go with you, Jeff.
I'm going to say under. I unfortunately we don't know what they are. I hope for a good product. I unfortunately see them having a season like Idaho had last year, trying to figure some things out. But they do have some vets. But it's a tough schedule. Carolina twice, Omaha twice. I'm definitely gonna say under.
Under. Matt?
Yeah, as I was looking at this, no disrespect to anybody, but when I was looking at this, I saw a 500 as being like their ceiling. So I think I'm going to also go with the under on 5.5. Just it's going to be tough for me to see another win there. Now, obviously, we don't know what any of the teams in this league are going to bring this season, really, honestly, until the season starts. So there could be an upset there, here or there, whatever. But barring any kind of major crazy upset, I mean, I think I would have to go with the under as well.
No love for Shreveport after we had the coaching staff on. I see it. See, when we go to Shreveport, right? I hope they do something to you guys' food. Okay? That's how I was going to see. I'm going to say 5-5 because I have a feeling that at best they can be 6-4 and be playing with that number 2 seed in the play. I think they're going to be a competitive organization.
But here's the thing, though. You saying 5-5, that's still under because it's a 5.5.
Look at you being a smart.
Hey, that's not a push. That's still an under. So I mean, if you're gonna come at us yelling at us about unders,
Oh, give me the
telling you-
smoke. Give me the smoke. I see
you
how
got the
it
under as well,
is.
mate.
I see how it is. Fine. Give me the Rouxgarou, buddy. 6 wins. I think they're going to do it over. I love you, Coach. Don't poison my food when I go down there.
The question is, are you going to be as bold as to say where that 6th win is going to come from? I'll take that as a no.
I'm looking at it. Do you want me to do that now?
No, you don't have to.
I was going to say, don't let me do that. I'm trying to get on everyone's good sides because I don't want to do the hypothetical player rankings and think I know what I'm doing.
I took a drink right as you said that.
You did? I wasn't paying attention. Perfect timing. Jim for the win. Let's go. But yeah, they're like, hey, I'm going to be on the Rouxgarou side. Why? Because they have a badass logo.
Mhm.
And I like the organization. 2,800 tickets already sold for season tickets.
That's
A building
awesome.
that holds 7,000. That's not including walk-ups. You're making money there. Rouxgarou are ready.
I actually like their. I don't know if you've seen their logo on the sleeve of their jerseys. I like those better actually than the one
Yeah,
with,
we have
with the moon on it. No, not that one. They have one that's just like the head of the werewolf.
without the
that's on
actual
yeah,
team.
without the
Okay.
yeah.
Ah.
I actually like that one better.
We have 75 people live here on Inside the Walls podcast. Remember, before we go, ladies and gentlemen, if you missed the show, click on the QR code. If you're watching it on your phone, it's pretty hard. Just go to any of your podcast platforms and look up Inside the Walls Network and get all the podcasts, even Matt's show, even Through the Wire, and even this one, Inside the Walls. If you miss in YouTube. Of course, we're on YouTube. We're on Rumble. We're on InsideTheWalls.net. You can watch it from the internet itself. We're everywhere. You can follow us on TikTok. How many days do we have on TikTok now? Like 73, 72? It got extended for 70 days or whatever. So we got an extension. So follow us on InWallsNet, InWallsPod on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X. We're missing something. Twitch. We're on Twitch as well. So we're everywhere for more content. But we're also doing something very fun this year, ladies and gentlemen, a ticket giveaway. Inside the Walls podcast wants to send you to an NAL game of your choosing. If you win, the contest is very simple. We'll put this up on Facebook. You comment on this on Facebook. Follow the show, retweet this show, share a NAL moment or indoor moment or arena moment that you went there with your family or whatever. Share it, and then come back on the 27th, February 27th. That's the week before NAL Game Day live in lovely Wheeling, West Virginia, where the Colorado Spartans travel to take on the Wheeling Miners, where myself, Jeff, and Matt will be in attendance. And depending on how the temperature is, we may not be in the Ohio River. But we will have special guests. We'll have prizes. We'll have giveaways. We'll have special interviews from some special individuals that will be announcing here in the later date. Big names. And I can't tease even more, but it's going to be an entertaining show Monday night. Yes, we're the only Monday night show, and hopefully everyone enjoys it. It'll be live at the arena. Be good. Are we done doing all the wrap-ups? What else have we got left? Am I good? Did I cover everything?
You're
good.
Yeah. Not bad. And it's been under an hour. We're at the show, folks. We're done. Matt, any final words?
Nope. Just looking forward to the next interview that we get to do. I love meeting these coaches and these teams and just getting to know a little bit more about these organizations in the National Arena League. So,
Jeff?
Yeah, no, I agree with Matt. It's nice to, you see the players and you see the coaches and you see, who's getting what, but it's nice to actually sit down and talk to players and coaches and get to know them from a background standpoint, see what they're seeing. These past couple weeks have really been really cool. We've been kind of in the war rooms with these teams trying to break down their rosters and their seasons.
Next week, January 30th, is our airtime, 9 o'clock Central. But the day before that is the 29th. And we close out the month of January with I-29 rivalry, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. Thank you for reminding me, Matt. I get the time zones mixed up with the finger down. Who cares? We'll do the show at freaking 12 a.m. in the morning, and we'll still get people watching it. People in Asia be like, I don't know what this is, but it's entertaining. But next week, Sioux City and Omaha, a joint show, I-29 rivalry. Let's get that rivalry list spicy as we break down both organizations. Guest announcements will be made later in the week. The post is going to be on Facebook for you to do your giveaway, up to 4 tickets to a game of your choosing. So I-29 next week. What else we could be doing? We might be giving away some more stuff next week. Who knows? Follow the show on all social media platforms. And again, ladies and gentlemen, next week, Thursday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, I-29 rivalry, Sioux City and Omaha, here on Inside the Walls Network, also on National Arena League social media platforms. That's Matt, I'm Jim, and that's Jeff. We'll see you guys next week.